Home prices extending gains. The latest Case-Shiller report showing prices jumped more than 18% in October. The hottest markets are Phoenix, Tampa, and Miami. November pending home sales are going to be later on this morning. Joining me now is Brown Harris Stevens CEO Bess Freedman. And Bess, good morning to you. And I always love having you on the show to talk about what is my favorite topic, obviously. But the price jumps that we've been seeing in 2021, I was getting the sense that the valuations on these homes were going to start to fall a little bit because of the interest rate jumps. But do you agree with that or not? Because there's a big debate that's happening right now.
I mean, it's a challenge because in the suburbs, for example, where supply has been diminishing since when the pandemic hit, has been a real challenge for everybody because people want to buy there, even though rates have gone up and we know they're going to go up again in 2022. The demand is there. People want to buy. They want to invest in their home. And so what I think we saw during the pandemic, Cheryl, was people sort of universally reassessed how they lived, where they lived, what they wanted. And so people really want to have a piece of the pie. And so even though rates have gone up, people are still waiting in line, bidding on homes. We're seeing that that hasn't died off at all. There's an exuberance in the market that has remained incredibly strong.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just wonder if that's going to continue because obviously more and more buyers are getting priced out. And if this, dichotomy continues with interest rates and then prices rising and rising, the affordability issue is going to become even bigger in 2022. I think.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I think a lot of people have already gotten priced out in areas of Connecticut. A lot of people are waiting on the sidelines. Similarly, in the Hamptons, Palm Beach, New Jersey, people just can't afford it because, there's that too much money chasing too few goods, inflation. So people are waiting. And even the rental market is now so tight. Where that was really flexible during the pandemic, now you can't get a deal on rentals. In New York City, we're seeing that there's no incentives anymore. And so, and New York has ample supply, which is good. So people are still, the market is very fluid, but we're seeing a slowing down in the suburbs, in the Hamptons, in Connecticut, and that sort of thing, because people have been priced out. And I think 22, we're going to see a little bit of a slowdown, if I was to guess. And I think that the rates going up, which the Fed announced, I think maybe 2 or 3 times, we'll see also people pulling back a little bit. But borders are open, so the international buyer is back. And Wall Street bonuses, Cheryl, were historic, were phenomenal. So there's a lot of discretionary spending, a lot of money in the economy. So people are spending.
And you're right about the borders opening because, and I will just, not to get too New York centric, but I will say that all these foreign buyers are coming in with cash and they're pushing the New York market just to new heights, which I've been here, 17 years. I'm still seeing it happen and I'm still shocked, but then I'm not. Let me bring in Steve Moore really quick into all of this. Steve, housing obviously is fascinating. The hot markets, obviously it's not New York or it's Miami, it's Phoenix, places like that. But Steve, jump in.
Well, that's right, Cheryl. By the way, I am in Miami right now. I'm in South Florida, and my wife and I have been looking at maybe a second home in Florida. There's no inventory here. I mean, you just can't find homes at virtually any price. I mean, literally, realtors are knocking on the doors of people asking them if they would sell their home. And so that's the definition of a hot market. But I want to raise a caution flag here. If you look at the CPI index, which we were talking about, what lags in the CPI is housing costs. And so I'm wondering whether you guys think that the rental, that because of the hot market, we're going to see rising rents, and whether that's going to, and this is my hypothesis, this is going to push up the inflation rate in 2022, the delayed reaction from this tight this tight housing market. And I wonder if you agree with that.
I mean, Steve, we're already seeing a little bit of that here in New York City, because if you remember when the pandemic hit, the vacancy rates were scary. People left There was 2 and 3 months offered for free. Everyone was renegotiating their leases. There was so much flexibility. And now fast forward to where the housing market is tight and demand is at a heightened level. And so now you're seeing a whole different environment with rentals. And now people are like, well, I can't afford to rent. It's so expensive here. There's no free month. There's no incentive. There's nothing. And so we're seeing a little bit of that in New York. And I think you're seeing some of that in Miami as well. I mean, as you said, Steve, Miami is such a hot market, and people want to be there. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens, I think, but we're seeing a little bit of that now in New York.
Steve Moore, a Miami tried and true now. Who would have thought? All right. Bess Freedman. Bess, thank you very much. It's good to see you. We'll
Thanks,
definitely
Cheryl.
come back. Love
good to
talking
see you.
Bess Freedman.
Thanks so much.